What's up, everyone, and welcome to my first episode ever of Ep1c Discussion. In this series, we will be discussing different topics in the world of sports, mainly NFL and NBA. Our first episode, we will be talking about the obvious: who should win 2012 Offensive Rookie of the Year? We have three candidates who top that list. We have Andrew Luck, first overall pick in 2012 draft. RG3, the second overall pick in the 2012 NFL Draft. And then we have Russell Wilson, the 75th third rounder out of Wisconsin. Now, I know everybody has their picks on who should win this award. It's going to be a tough one, to say the least. I mean, you have Andrew Luck, who turned the team around from a 2-14 season. You have RG3, who took, he didn't take a lot of people by surprise, because when you're picked at 1 and 2, you're supposed to turn your teams around. That's what's expected of you. I mean, RG3 was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he turned the Washington Redskins around a lot. I mean, you look at last year's record; they finished 5-11. This year, they're pushing for a playoff spot. And then you have Russell Wilson, 75th overall pick in the third round of 2012. He came out of nowhere, and he wasn't even a starter whenever he got drafted to the Seahawks. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Andrew Luck, first overall pick, he knew he had the starting job. He knew that the Colts were going to be his team. Same thing with RG3. RG3 knew that the Washington Redskins were going to be his to control and his to manage, that he was going to be in the spotlight and was going to be, the reason why the team loses or wins. He's going to be the reason. It doesn't matter if it's defense or offense performs well or badly. They're going to look to RG3 and say, okay, he didn't make the plays or he made the plays. Russell Wilson has no control over, whatever when he first came into the league. Matt Flynn was the most talked about quarterback after having one really good game last year for the Packers. And after he couldn't get re-signed by the Packers, the Seahawks signed him, thinking that was their future. But something sparked the coaches, Pete Carroll, the quarterback coach, something sparked them. Something sent a message into their brain saying, you know what? This kid Russell Wilson has something. We need to try it out. So they started him at the season and hadn't let anybody down. Yes, they lost a couple games here and there, but they're pushing for a playoff spot in a division that everybody thought the 49ers had wrapped up. I mean, you got to look at it at that way. I mean, if you don't look at it that way, then everybody thought, okay, the San Francisco 49ers are going to take this. They did it last year. And at the beginning of the season, the Arizona Cardinals started out 4-0 and then just declined. They hit the ground and crashed and burned. The Seahawks, everybody was like, okay, Russell Wilson's quarterback, they're going to finish, maybe a 5-11, 6-10, something like that. Something. Well, they're not. I mean, they're tied for the lead in the NFC West. It's when you look at it that way, makes you think that he should win it. But the Andrew Luck turned the Indianapolis Colts from a 2-14 season to a playoff clinching team in a division that everybody thought, okay, a rookie quarterback coming into the division like that, same as Russell Wilson, coming into a division where they thought one team was going to take the ball and run with it. Everybody was like, okay, Indy's just has a new quarterback, and the Houston Texans look like a fierce team. This is going to be a really hard one for Indianapolis to come through and do anything. And he overcame the odds and overcame all the scrutiny and all the things, and now they're in the playoffs. From 2-14 to where they are now and going into the playoffs, it's an amazing sight. And in RG3, the Washington Redskins are probably in the most controversial and most, active, as far as when it comes to the end of the season, divisions that you could be in the NFC East. You don't have to worry about Philadelphia, but this year you have to worry about the Dallas Cowboys. You have to worry about, Washington, and you have to worry about the Giants. The Giants always make that little trip, and they always overcome everything, and they come through. But with RG3 being able to be a dual threat, running and throwing the ball, and their defense making plays with all the injuries they have, but they have leadership. That's what a lot of teams don't have. If you have injuries on your team, then yeah, you might as well go ahead and say it's over. But some teams say, nope, we're not gonna take that. We're going to go through and do the impossible. We have leadership on our team. and Washington has London Fletcher, and that's why they've done it, and behind RG3 as well. But if I had to choose today who would be, based on what's happened in the last 16 weeks of the NFL, I would have to say that Russell Wilson would, he would be my choice if I had to vote for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Just because where he came from. He came from nowhere. Like during the college ranks, all you heard was Robert Griffin III or Andrew Luck or Robert Griffin III or Andrew Luck. And then when the season first began, training camp and preseason started, Matt Flynn, Matt Flynn, Matt Flynn, Matt Flynn. Never Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's name never came up. And then when he started making these big plays, and everybody's like, who is this kid? I mean, like I said at the beginning, RG3 and Andrew Luck were expected to make big plays and be starters and make their teams better. But Russell Wilson, never supposed to happen. I don't even think that anybody thought that Russell Wilson was going to be as successful as he is. I mean, he doesn't have that many weapons on his team. I mean, he's got Sidney Rice, he's got Marshawn Lynch, but he can do the same things as RG3. I mean, he can run and he can throw, and that's my choice. I mean, I would have to choose Russell Wilson over Andrew Luck and RG3, just because of where he's come from and what he's done with a ragtag team of players, with maybe one or two good players on it. And once they saw Russell Wilson dominating on offense, that defense, everybody knows that the defense of the Seattle Seahawks is tough, but they came through and just dominated this season. Andrew Luck, I like him. At first I didn't like him, but now I like him because what he's done with this team and all the sorrow and all the stuff that the Indianapolis Colts has gone through this year, and Washington, But those two teams, those two players, Andrew Luck and Russell Wilson, would have to be tied. RG3 probably has to be in third place, but like I said, it would be Russell Wilson that would win it. Runner-up would be Andrew Luck, and RG3 would be in third place, just because. I mean, if you look at number-wise and look at team-wise, I can't explain it anymore. But okay, before I get too detailed into this, until I get I want you guys to tell me what you think of this, and who do you think should win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will respond back to you with what I think. And make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video, share it with whoever you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Epic Discussion. Later, guys.